At the heart of Rome stands the Vatican, a symbol of faith to over 1 billion people. But behind its holy image lies a financial empire worth billions. Gold, art, real estate, investments, secret banking networks. For centuries, rumors have surrounded the Vatican's hidden wealth. Some believe its treasures are beyond imagination. Others believe the truth has been carefully hidden. What secrets lie beneath these ancient walls? And how did the Church become one of the richest institutions on earth? To understand the Vatican's wealth, we must travel back to the beginning. The story begins in the ashes of the Roman Empire. As emperors fell and kingdoms collapsed, the Church remained. While Europe descended into chaos, the Vatican slowly gained power. Land donations from kings and nobles poured into the Church. Gold, property, taxes, and influence began flowing toward Rome. The Vatican was no longer just a spiritual authority. It was becoming an economic force. And with every passing century, its wealth continued to grow. During the Middle Ages, the Church controlled enormous wealth across Europe. Kings feared excommunication. Peasants paid taxes to survive spiritually. And salvation itself became tied to money. The sale of indulgences allowed believers to pay for forgiveness. To many, it was faith. To others, it looked like business. The Vatican's influence spread into every corner of medieval life. Religion and wealth had become inseparable. Then came the Renaissance. An age of beauty, art, ambition, and unimaginable spending. The popes transformed Rome into the center of culture and power. Masterpieces were commissioned. Cathedrals rose toward heaven. Gold flowed endlessly through Vatican halls. But behind the beauty, corruption and political intrigue grew stronger. The Vatican had become more than a church. It had become a kingdom. The Protestant Reformation shattered Europe. For the first time in centuries, the Church's authority was challenged. Nations turned against Rome. Religious wars consumed the continent. The Vatican lost land, influence, and trust. But it did not collapse. Instead, it adapted. The Church expanded its reach across the world. And even as its political power weakened, its financial influence survived. By the 19th century, revolution swept across Europe. Italy unified, and the Papal States began to disappear. The Vatican lost control of vast territories it had ruled for centuries. In 1870, Rome itself was captured. The Pope declared himself a prisoner inside the Vatican. The age of papal kingdoms had ended. But even without territory, the Vatican still possessed something more powerful: money, influence, and global loyalty. In 1929, everything changed. The Lateran Treaty officially created Vatican City as an independent state. The Church received massive financial compensation from Italy. Suddenly, the Vatican entered the modern financial world. Investments expanded. Real estate holdings grew. International banking connections quietly developed. The smallest nation on Earth was becoming a global financial power. Then came World War II. Europe burned, empires collapsed, and the Vatican stood surrounded by chaos. Officially neutral, the Church walked a dangerous line between diplomacy and survival. Rumors spread about hidden wartime gold, secret financial transfers, and confidential negotiations behind closed doors. To this day, many wartime Vatican records remain controversial, and some mysteries may never be fully explained. Deep inside Vatican City operates one of the world's most mysterious financial institutions, the Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, created to manage church finances, but over the decades, surrounded by scandal, money laundering accusations, political corruption, secret offshore accounts, and the mysterious death of banker Roberto Calvi. Critics called it a financial empire hidden behind sacred walls. The Vatican denied wrongdoing, but suspicion never fully disappeared. In the modern era, pressure on the Vatican intensified. Investigations exposed hidden accounts and financial irregularities. Global media demanded answers. The Vatican faced growing criticism over secrecy and corruption. But reforms slowly began. Financial transparency increased. Oversight systems were introduced. And Pope Francis pushed for accountability. Yet even today, many believe the full truth remains hidden. But the Vatican's true wealth may not be measured in gold. Its treasures include priceless art, ancient knowledge, global influence, and the loyalty of more than 1 billion believers. For centuries, the Church shaped politics, culture, history, and civilization itself. Its power extended far beyond money. And perhaps that is the Vatican's greatest secret of all. Tonight, we explored centuries of wealth, power, and secrecy. But many questions still remain unanswered. What lies hidden inside the Vatican archives? How much wealth does the Church truly control? And what secrets may never be revealed to the world? The Vatican has survived empires, wars, revolutions, and scandals. And through it all, its mystery endured. Perhaps some secrets were never meant to be uncovered. The Vatican remains one of the most fascinating institutions in human history. A place where faith, politics, wealth, and mystery collide. For some, it is the center of spiritual truth. For others, a symbol of hidden power. But one thing is certain: the story of the Vatican is far from over. And somewhere beneath these ancient walls, the mystery still waits. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe for more cinematic investigations